I was sipping half a glass of shimmering rosé when it happened. Mara, a relative, rose in her off-the-shoulder dress during the rehearsal dinner as though she were the star of some romantic comedy. She clinked her glass. "I just want to," she said, grinning far too broadly, "introduce my favorite cousin." She gestured toward me, smiling too charmingly. "This is Soraya, our ever-romantic unmarried one, the person who never truly moved on." Words fell like a lace-clad slap. People laughed. Some leaned forward as if about to hear a juicy story. Someone even arched their brows. "Here we go." I laughed, too courteously, because that's what you do when your family makes fun of you. It's part of the performance. Caleb, her fiancé, winced. I saw it. Just a flicker, but it was there. My mother, Jeanette, realized Mara had gone too far. She gave me that half-repentant, half-apologetic look. "Why didn't you just bring a date like I told you?" she asked. Under the table, my sister Ivy reached for my hand and gave it a tight squeeze. Her diamond wedding ring scratched my skin. I just smiled, nodded. I could feel everyone's eyes on me. Caleb cleared his throat like he was stepping into stage lights. All right, he said, trying to keep things moving. "Let's keep the roast light. And now, before dessert, my best man would like to say a few words." Chairs shifted. Forks clinked. A hush rolled in. I turned, curious. And that's when I saw him, Nikiko Valen, the best man, tall, silent, effortlessly composed in a navy suit that fit him like it was made just for him. He stepped forward, raised his glass. The noise faded. The whole room stilled. And then he said my name, Saria. Every head turned, every mouth opened just slightly. I froze. I didn't know who he was, not yet. I didn't know if I was about to be humiliated, all over again, or if something entirely different was about to unfold. All I knew was that the air had changed. It was focused. On me, not Caleb, not Mara, me. Suddenly, I wasn't just the unmarried cousin anymore. I was someone else entirely. The truth is, I hadn't even wanted to come to the wedding. I told my mom I had a work deadline, told myself I was coming down with something, tried to believe it would just be too strange, too soon. Everything had been sent, except the RSVP Ethan and I had only broken up a few months earlier. Well, really, it ended the moment I found that message. 3 years of building a life together, gone. I packed his toothbrush and hoodie into a paper bag, left it on his porch. No, I didn't want to come. But I did. Because I'm polite. Because Mara is family. Because if I didn't, I'd never hear the end of it. The wedding was set at a vineyard in upstate New York, the kind with fairy lights strung between oak trees. It felt like driving into someone else's fantasy. I arrived in my 10-year-old Honda playing a playlist Ethan made once. I turned it off halfway through. By the time I reached the gravel lot, my jaw was clenched. I reminded myself of 3 things. Smile. Don't drink too much. Leave early. The rehearsal dinner was warm, buzzing with mellow jazz and golden candlelight. People in new outfits, glowing with wine and the comfort of familiar gossip. I felt invisible. Until Jeanette, my mother, found me. She stepped back, kissed my cheek and gave me that once-over look, like I was a dress she wasn't sure she still liked. "You look good," she said, adjusting my necklace, though it didn't need fixing. "But why didn't you wear color? You always wear black, navy at least." Then Ivy arrived, radiant, married, confident. She gave me a sincere pink lipstick hug. "You came," she whispered. "Of course I came," I replied. She gave me that sympathetic smile you give someone you think is still broken. I didn't correct her. Across the table, Uncle Russ called out, "Saria! Still in that little apartment? Still writing about books instead of writing one?" Everyone chuckled. I nodded. "Yeah, commas still pay the bills." And then Mara floated in, wearing white, soaking in the bride-to-be glow even though it wasn't her day yet. When she saw me, her eyes lit up, but not kindly. My favorite. "Cousin!" she chirped, too mischievously. Still beautiful, still single. That was her code for, "We're saving you for the bouquet toss." I forced a laugh. I always had this weird dynamic with Mara. Competitive, tight-lipped. We never said it aloud, but one of us had to win. Behind her, Caleb smiled kindly. We used to get along, bonded over how much we both hated weddings. "How've you been?" he asked, passing around appetizers. "Good," I whispered. "Are you really?" He tilted his head. I shrugged. "Good enough." He didn't push. I was grateful. The rehearsal. Dinner blurred. Cards, drinks, bad toasts. I sat at the singles table, next to a guy named Grant who claimed we'd met before and asked to catch up. Ivy leaned down at one point and whispered, "We can leave together if things get weird." It was already weird. Being around extended family felt like walking through a museum of my old self. Everyone treating me like I was still 25. Still hopelessly in love, still unhealed, still someone I no longer was. And then Mara stood up and dropped her favorite cousin, bombshell. The night shattered, like a glass of champagne hitting tile. And then Caleb's voice, "Now my best man, Nico, would like to say a few words." My heart didn't quite jump, but it jolted. That kind of body shock when you sense something big is about to happen. I turned, and there he was, Nico Valen, 14 years. I hadn't seen him in person in 14 years. Maybe once his name popped up on a friend's wedding registry. No photos, no updates, just a name. I told myself it didn't matter. But now, here he was. Calm. Quiet. Walking toward the mic. He looked different. Sharper jaw, shorter hair, broader frame. But the eyes were the same. He shouldn't have been here. Caleb had never mentioned him, not once. I thought he was lost to the tags of time and bad algorithms. He tapped the mic. "Evening," he said, voice steady. Low, a little rough. "I won't keep you long. Caleb asked me to speak. And when he asks, well, even if it scares you, you do it." The crowd chuckled. I didn't. I was frozen. Not scared, but buzzing, like every part of my body noticed him before my brain caught up. He didn't look at me. Not yet. I glanced at Ivy. Her brow was raised. "Wait, is that—" she mouthed. I nodded. "That Nico?" Another nod. She mouthed, "Wow." His speech was light, funny. High school stories, college anecdotes, a warm toast to love. I could feel Jeanette watching me, but I didn't meet her eyes. When the room clapped, he handed back the mic, and this time he looked right at me, paused, purposeful, like testing the water. I looked. Away. People moved toward dessert. I stayed seated, staring at my unfinished plate. Then, a voice behind me. "Hey!" I turned. It was him, still holding his champagne, closer than I expected. "Nico," I said, and hated how my voice cracked. He smiled softly. "Remember me? You made a toast 2 minutes ago. Kinda hard to forget." He chuckled. "Still sharp, I see." I stood up, brushing imaginary crumbs from my dress. "What are you doing here?" "Best man," he said. "Months of planning. Didn't expect you to show." "Didn't expect to see you," I said. "I didn't expect this chance," he replied quietly. "To speak." Honestly, I had no response. My brain was racing, my heart louder than the music. He looked around the room, then back at me. "You don't have to say anything. You look good." I just wanted to say, I know I disappeared. After the kiss. After college. I began, then stopped. I wanted to explain. Well, Your timing's terrible. He laughed. Softly. Not arrogant, just sad. I didn't trust it. This wasn't the impulsive, wild boy I remembered. This version was quieter, still, and somehow even more dangerous.